Hey, Shadow Archetype here. Today I'd like to talk to you about the fourth dimension. Stay tuned, because when you understand the fourth dimension, up becomes down, left becomes right, and all of life's questions seem to be answered. In order to understand the fourth dimension, I think it's best to initially try and understand the first three. The first dimension is incredibly simple. It's a line. This line can be infinitely large or small. The second dimension adds multiple rows of those lines, so now we have both height and width. Think of your computer screen. It can only demonstrate two-dimensional images because it lacks depth, which happens to be the third dimension. Another interesting thing about this is that your eyes, much like the computer screen, can only take in realities in two dimensions. The third dimension, depth, can only be understood by our mind playing tricks on us, so we can make sense of an otherwise nonsensical world. We can look up many optical illusions to demonstrate this, such as the one where two boxes are the same exact color, but your mind tricks you into thinking the colors are vastly different. But if you put an object between the two boxes and divide them, you will see they are in fact the same color. The fourth dimension basically does the same thing, but what is it? Well, let me tell you. It's time. The fourth dimension is time. Einstein said that energy is the same thing as mass when you times it by the speed of light, in his famous E=mc² equation. So any massive object sped up to the speed of light is no longer mass, but now energy. Now we need to talk about how we interpret the fourth dimension. Our brain is given the task of making sense of our world at a quantum level, so we need to understand quantum mechanics a little bit more. Large objects that are large enough to interact with are incredibly massive compared to the energy counterpart. But when we're looking at things at a quantum level, the energy plays about the same role as the mass does. In fact, all things are both energy and mass simultaneously. And your mind must play tricks on you so that you can make sense of the world, just like in the third dimension. One of the cornerstone experiments in quantum physics is the double slit experiment. It shows that electrons going through two slits will show an interference pattern, proving that they are acting like waves. But to everyone's dismay, they found when they attempted to observe the wave, it started acting like particles and collapsed the waveform. Why and how does this happen? When we observe the object, we perceive the time at a slower tempo, allowing the energy to be slower than speed of light, turning it into a measurable mass, with no other possibilities. Once we stop measuring the object, time speeds up past the speed of light, creating a wave that represents all possibilities, but is unable to see any individual objects. One thing I want to say about this is that when we observe the object, the wave still exists. And when we don't observe the object, the particle still exists. But in order to process either one or the other, the opposite must be rejected. Or in reality, it must be processed in a less conscious way. Let's look at an example of what I'm talking about. These examples, by and large, will be dealing with interest versus intent. One type of trick that your mind often plays on you to keep threatening information from coming to consciousness are defense mechanisms. My first example is the defense mechanism reaction formation with two examples. One example regards a skirt, the object, and negative feelings towards it, forcing the individual to form a new socially appropriate reaction.
You have outstanding defense mechanisms.
The blonde girl is aware of her feelings about the skirt, but is blissfully unaware about her intent, aka the wave, when quickly telling her real feelings after the girl had walked away. The redhead, on the other hand, is very aware of intent.
Oh my God, I love your skirt. Where did you get it?
It was my mom's in the 80s.
Vintage. So adorable.
Thanks.
That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. Oh my God, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
My next example of reaction formation will be a young lady that had a brother through parental marriage. It was short-lived, and they were older at the time, but she seems to have feelings for the boy. This seems to be threatening to her, so she reforms her feelings for him. This girl is far more aware of intent, so she naturally needs to push understanding interest down into the subconscious level.
I hope you're not thinking of staying here.
I sure want to.
I'm sure you do.
I got a place in Westwood near school.
Shouldn't you go to school on the East Coast? I hear girls at NYU aren't at all particular.
You're funny.
What's your problem, Beavis? Infantry Fury trading machine gun fire.
Hi, you just got here and already you're playing couch commando?
Hey, in some parts of the universe, maybe not in contempo casual, but in some parts, it's considered cool to know what's going on in the world.
Thank you, Josh. I so need lessons from you on how to be cool. Tell me that part about Kenny G again.
I will go over how she overcomes her defense mechanism later in the video, but let's take a detour to see why we need people who actively try to understand intent. But I need to show what happens once you realize that you are interested in someone. Simply said, you'll be interested in their interest.
What's with you?
What do you mean?
You're so quiet. Haven't made me watch The Real World?
I care about the news.
Since when?
Since now.
In this next clip, this boy is very aware of interest. He knows he doesn't like the topic, so he attempts to take the girl he is interested in away. When he fails, he attempts to run away from the topic because he knows he won't be able to show interest in it, and therefore showing he doesn't have enough interest in her. When you are aware of the object, contextual information is everything. So notice how he knows where she is going before she gets there.
Hi, I'm Joshua Hill from the university's chapter of ALF. That's Animal Liberation Front.
ALF?
That's the
You ready to
two-word
go, go, go?
excuse professors
Chase,
in the
I wanna see
biology and
this.
chemistry departments give when asked about the abuse.
Chase, do you have to get so close?
Closer's louder!
That's my point.
Mine too!
We can't talk up there.
We talked in the car!
I just don't see why you won't come with us tomorrow night.
To ALF?
Come on, it's right up your alley.
I told you already, I'm not interested. Drop it. Look, you go, okay? Knock yourself out.
But when it comes to something really important,
What?
all the so-called rebellion, it's a joke.
We're breaking up, aren't we?
I just think that we're headed in different directions.
One thing that neither of them concerned themselves with was why he was against that topic. But the blonde girl did concern herself with it, and she knew without him having to tell her. Once the redhead was told the reason why he was disinterested in her interest, it became clear. It wasn't a disinterest in her, but a desire to right the wrongs in his past.
Is this the animal testing thing?
Your concern is noted.
Do you know anything about his mother?
Only that she died when he was young. Like 12 or something.
11. You know how?
No.
Cancer. Lab rats, medical research. Think about it.
Suddenly, Dulcie understood why Chase didn't have interest in her interests. She now changes her mind and decides she wants to be with Chase. Just like Dulcie was unable to see the intent over Chase's lack of interest, so too does Cher lack the ability to see her own interests because they are subservient to her intent. You will also notice that the contextual information that Chase was so good at seeing will be almost completely ignored by Cher. She is almost completely oblivious to her own interests as well as the interests of others. In this scene, she talks about her good deeds or her intent to help two people find love, but her true interest is to better her own grades by making them happy.
I have contributed many hours to helping two lonely teachers find romance.
Which I'll bet serves your interest more than theirs. Yeah, you know, if I ever saw you do anything that wasn't 90% selfish, I'd die of shock.
Oh, that'd be reason enough for me.
Cher has been trying to set up Ty with Elton, but he really is interested in her. He shows this in many ways, like here when he's pushing her to ride with him, or during a suck and blow game.
God, Elton, can you suck?
There are other examples, and any of these things might make someone who is more consciously aware of interest consider the possibility that he may like her. This thought doesn't seem to occur to her, so she continues to push Ty on him.
Didn't Ty look cute tonight? I really love her hair when it's all wild, you know? But it's also very pretty when it's all up with that curly tendrils.
You know, you're one of my best friends. And I do not have friends that are girls.
Well, I'm glad, because your happiness means a lot to me.
It does.
Sure, I mean, I saw how hard your breakup with Follette was.
Yeah. I think we both know what it feels like to be lonely.
Whatever, the thing is I'd really like to see you settled already. Where are we going?
I knew it. I knew it.
Oh, you knew what?
You were totally sprung on me.
Hello, don't you mean Ty?
Ty?
You have her picture in your locker.
I have the picture you took in my locker.
One interest Cher has that she is consciously aware of is Christian. The main point of this next clip is to show how effortless it is for her to see the intent within people.
The band was kicking, and Christian was the hottest guy there. But my enjoyment was put on pause when I saw how unhappy Ty was.
I think we were born to move.
Look! Josh is dancing with Ty! He never dances!
I can see why.
No, he's doing her props so she won't be left out!
Oh, I dig you.
So intent is extremely easy for her to see, but let's look at interest. She has decided to seduce Christian. Let's see his reaction.
You want to go swimming?
Let's watch the movies.
Oh, okay.
Classics indeed. What position have we, I wonder, for a boy of such varied gifts? You shall be my body servant, instructing me. All of you come with me.
My feet are cold. Thanks.
Oh, watch this part. This is good.
Here, Crassus. Congratulate me.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Do you want something to drink? You know, I could get you some wine.
No. You notice how wine makes people want to feel like sexy?
Well, that's okay.
I'm actually getting tired.
But, I can make you some coffee if you'd like.
Oh, no thanks. Got the ulcer. You're great. We're friends, right?
What's wrong with me?
Nothing. Maybe he really was tired.
I suppose it was meant to be. I mean, he does dress better than I do. What would I bring to the relationship? Going all the way is like a really big decision. I can't believe I was so capricious about it. Dee, I almost had sex with him.
You almost had sex with who?
Christian.
What?
Yo, look, are you bitches blind or something? Your man Christian is a cake boy.
Hey.
He's gay.
Not even.
Yes, even.
He does like to shop share, and the boy can dress.
Oh my God, I'm totally bugging. I feel like such a bonehead.
If you pay attention to contextual clues, it is easy to see why Murray so quickly and confidently says that Christian is gay. Murray is just more consciously aware of interest. After the concert, Cher took a ride with Josh because Christian wanted to hang out with the boys. As you can see, the defense mechanisms around him are loosening up. She doesn't even realize how much interest she is showing him, but she has taken the brother barrier down. She now refuses to see him as a brother and wants him around more often.
What was that all about?
She wants me to come home for spring break.
So what's the big deal? Nobody will be in school.
Yeah, but husband number 4 is at home, and his whole idea of acting like a family is to criticize me.
So what, you're just gonna roam around campus for 2 weeks all by yourself?
I don't mind.
That is stupid. Why don't you just come here, you can have your old room, and there are gonna be some great parties.
No.
Why not?
You got your whole social world going on. I don't want to get in the way.
You won't be in the way.
How much fun would it be having a brother type tagging along?
Josh, you are not my brother.
Look, you know what I mean.
Come on, you need some excitement in your life. It'll replenish you for your finals.
Okay.
Good.
We have now established the defense mechanism is coming down, but how will it come to consciousness?
Oh, and we got another notice from the fire department saying that we have to clear out the bush. You said you were gonna get Jose to do it.
He's your gardener, and why you don't tell him?
Lucy, you know I don't speak Mexican.
I'm not a Mexican.
Great, what was that all about?
Lucy's from El Salvador.
So?
It's an entirely different country.
Oh, what does that matter?
You get upset if someone thinks you live below sunset.
Oh, okay, so everything is all my fault. I'm always wrong, right?
Such a brat.
I had an overwhelming sense of ickiness. Even though I apologized to Lucy, something was still plaguing me. Like Josh thinking I was mean was making me postal. Anyway, why should I care what Josh thinks? Why was I letting it throw me into such turmoil?
Look, you've got to help me get Josh.
Get Josh what?
You know what I mean? I like him.
Do you think that he likes you?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Like, little things, you know? And do you remember the time at the frat when I was totally depressed and he asked me to dance with him and he was really flirty? You okay?
Yeah. Ty, do you really think you'd be good with Josh? I mean, he's like a school nerd.
What, am I some sort of a mentally challenged airhead?
No. Not even. I didn't say that.
What, I'm not good enough for Josh or something?
I just don't think you mesh well together.
This, by the way, causes a fight. Ty says some mean things and they part ways. With all of these external pressures building and with her unable to understand her own behaviors, she has to figure out why she is acting this way. In the scene we are watching, Cher goes for a walk and really tries to hash out her feelings, eventually saying he needs someone to laugh at his jokes. This is something Ty could do, so the only option left is that she wants to be the one to do it for him.
What would he want with Ty? She could make him happy. Josh needs someone with imagination, someone to take care of him, someone to laugh at his jokes, in case he ever makes any. Then suddenly, oh my God, I love Josh.
Now that we have seen both intent and interest both come to consciousness, let's see what happens when the external pressures are great, but the information is still too threatening to come to consciousness. In these first scenes, we will see Veronica think her interest over and over, but you have to understand the why, her intent. Her situation is different because of the reason behind her actions.
Dear Diary, I want to kill, and you have to believe it's for more than just selfish reasons, more than just a spoke in my menstrual cycle. You have to believe me. Oh, Christ, I can't explain it, but I'm allowed an understanding that my parents and these Remington University assholes have chosen to ignore. I understand that I must stop Heather. Betty Finn was a true friend, and I sold her out for a bunch of Swatch dogs and Diet Coke heads. Killing Heather would be like offing the Wicked Witch of the West. Tomorrow, I'll be kissing her aerobicized ass, but tonight, let me dream of a world without Heather, a world where I am free.
Unlike thinking, when speaking to her boyfriend, she will give off the persona that she is the bigger man and only has a small intent to explain her actions.
Heather Chandler is one bitch that deserves to die.
Killing her won't solve anything. I say we just grow up, be adults, and die. But before that, I'd like to see Heather Chandler puke her guts out.
Under the guise that she only wants to see her vomit, Veronica has decided to serve her a cup of liquid drainer, even though, in her words,
I'm a no-rust build-up man myself.
Don't be a dick. Stuff will kill her.
At least you got what you wanted, you know?
Got what I wanted? It is one thing to want somebody out of your life. It is another thing to serve them a wake-up cup full of liquid drainer.
she barely mentally takes responsibility and says it's justified because of her reason.
Hi, I'm sorry. Technically, I did not kill Heather Chandler, but hey, who am I trying to kid, right? I just want my high school to be a nice place. Amen.
Okay, now I rarely listen to Neanderthals like Kurt Kelly, but he said that he and Ram had a nice little sword fight in your mouth last night. You know what I mean?
Ew! That son of a bitch! Hi, Kurt. Hi, this is Veronica Sawyer. Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted all those things you've been saying to really happen. Yeah, in the woods behind the school. At dawn. Don't forget Ram. I don't get the point of me writing a suicide note when we're just gonna be shooting them with blanks.
But we're not gonna be using blanks this time.
You can't be serious.
Jason now tells her the bullets are Igluga bullets, which are temporary tranquilizer bullets that fake blood spatter.
1, 2,
3. Did you miss him completely?
Although subconsciously she knows what she is doing, her persona can't be seen to want to kill. She is the victim, the one who was lied to and was gullible, and everyone must see it this way.
So we killed them, didn't we?
Of course. Look, you believed it because you wanted to believe it. Your true feelings were too gross and icky for you to face.
I did not want them dead.
You did too.
I did not.
Did too.
Did not.
Did too.
Did not. Did not. Did not. Shut up. I did not want them to.
Oh, come on, you
Mary
did. You're
had
just
a
not.
little lamb,
I know what you.
Although intent can be important, and at times more important than reality, she was so far gone from reality that any action is justifiable depending on her intent.
Heather told me she teaches people real life. She said, real life sucks losers dry. If you want to fuck with the Eagles, you have to learn to fly.
Heather had a point. Veronica could better understand real life. But even if Heather had a point, let's go too far in the other direction and see what happens when someone is unable to allow intent to come to consciousness.
Rebecca.
Chuck.
You look lovely.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Hey, what's with the candles? Why are you sitting here in the dark?
2 hours ago, I take the sea bass out. No sooner is it prepped and resting than boom, power goes down. I get on the phone to the city. Those bozos at PNM mixed up my payment. The deadbeat at 512 San Cristobal hasn't been paying his bills. And of course, I'm 215. Exactly. How about we just rough it? Huh? You okay with that?
Well, why not?
This, in fact, was a lie. Chuck was embarrassed that he now has the mental condition that causes him a burning pain all over anytime he is around electromagnetism, such as phones or any other electricity. Chuck is a lawyer whom dedicated his life to revealing truths. He disdains con artists and anyone who tries to trick people for personal gain, which is ironic because that is exactly what he's doing in this last scene. I'm planning a future video explaining how people tend to become the things that they hate the harder they try to eradicate it in others. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you want that type of content. Also like, comment, share, and hit the notification button. But to him, dealing with the why and asking for empathy is manipulative. Dealing in facts is the only righteous choice. His brother Jimmy is very good with understanding intent, so naturally he projects his bitterness onto him. Notice in this next scene that they view Jimmy in a poor light because of it.
I mean, I still can't get over Jimmy being a lawyer.
Neither can I. He's got his own shingle out and everything.
I mean, a real responsible citizen. I mean, who would have thought? I have to take this. I'm sorry. Hi, Andre. No, I'm just... Yeah, hold on one second. Yeah, we can do it whenever you need. Okay. All right, shoot.
Rebecca.
That's fine. Yeah. What the hell? What is your problem?
Say something. It is incredibly bad manners to answer a cell phone in company. It's very rude.
It's getting late. Thank you for a lovely dinner, but I should be getting back to the hotel.
Just give me a minute and we can...
No. I'll just get a cab. I don't want to put you out anymore.
You gotta do something. You can't let her leave like this. Just tell her what's going on. No. She'll understand. Would you rather she think you're a raging prick than know the truth? No. Look, if you won't tell her, then I will. No. You will not tell her. You will not tell her.
Chuck's persona is one of having no remorse for people's sob stories. So equally, he must not be the type of person to burden others with his sob story. He can't allow the why to come out without the whole foundation of his personality to crumble. It's better to lose the people around you than to lose yourself. Or is it? Thanks everyone for watching until the end. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And please leave a comment if you are so inclined. This is a new channel, so I don't have any previous videos, but there will be plenty to come. Until then, have a great day and keep coming back for more.